Have you ever stopped mid-thought and wondered, wait, who's actually speaking inside my head? We've all heard that voice, the one narrating our lives like a sports commentator who never shuts up. It questions, analyzes, replays memories, plans hypothetical futures, and critiques everything from your breakfast choices to your most vulnerable dreams. But here's a radical idea. That voice is not you. Let that settle for a moment. You are not the voice in your head. You're the one who's listening. Pause. Breathe. Feel that. There's a profound difference between thinking and being aware of the thinking. Right now, even as you absorb these words, there's a part of you, deeper, still, unchanging, that's simply observing. That is you, but most of us never meet this observer. Instead, we're lost in the mental noise, tangled in thoughts we assume are real, accurate, even essential. But what if they aren't? What if the constant internal monologue is just a well-practiced loop, not truth, not identity, just noise? Let me take you somewhere familiar. Imagine you're standing at a cliff's edge, watching the sun melt into the ocean. The moment is breathtaking, but inside your mind, a voice whispers, "What if I fall? Did I leave the stove on? I should have said something different in that meeting. Why do I always mess up?" The beauty before you is real. The moment is sacred, but it's hijacked, not by the world, but by your thoughts. And here's the secret most people never hear. You don't have to listen. You can watch your thoughts the same way you watch clouds drift across the sky. You can become the silent sky behind it all, vast, clear, unshaken. This isn't a poetic metaphor. It's the doorway to your freedom. In this video, we're going to explore why the voice in your head is not you, how to stop being a prisoner of its chaos, what real peace feels like when you disidentify from thought, and how to live with clarity, openness, and power from the inside out. This isn't just about mental health. This is about discovering the real you, the one beneath the stories. But first, let's take a closer look at the voice itself. Let's slow down and really examine this thing we call thinking. Most people never stop to ask, where do my thoughts come from? Who decides what I think? Why do I think so much, even when I don't want to? Thoughts arise automatically. You don't manually select them like files on a desktop, they just appear. And yet, you believe them, you obey them, you even suffer for them. But consider this: if you can observe a thought, if you can notice it arise, then logically, you are not it. You are something deeper, more aware, more spacious. Let's test it. Right now, pause for just 10 seconds. Listen, not with your ears, with your awareness. What's the voice saying? Maybe it's saying, "This is interesting." Maybe it's judging this video. Maybe it's wondering how long this will last. Good, that's the one. That's the voice we're talking about. It's not evil. It's not broken. It's not trying to sabotage you. It's simply doing what it's been conditioned to do: narrate everything. It learned this over years of experiences, rewards, punishments, fears, and patterns. It thinks it's helping, by analyzing, by protecting, by predicting. But when it goes unchecked, it becomes a dictator. Here's a real-world story that illustrates this. A friend of mine, Arjun, was in New York for a job interview, a big break for his career. He rehearsed for days, had his notes ready, his outfit perfect. On the way to the interview, he got into a cab. The driver took a wrong turn. Traffic piled up, time started slipping away, and inside Arjun's head, panic. This is a disaster. I should have left earlier. They'll think I'm unprofessional. Why does this always happen to me? He sat there, gritting his teeth, clenched fists, spiraling. Then, the cab driver turned around, an older man with calm eyes, and said, "You can't control the road, only how you drive it." It hit Arjun like lightning. In that moment, he realized his suffering wasn't about traffic. It was the voice in his head blaming, fearing, predicting doom. He took a breath. He arrived 7 minutes late. The interviewers were kind. He got the job. But more importantly, he began his journey of watching the voice. That's when the game changes. Let's ground this in some science. Neurologists have discovered something called the default mode network, DMN, a region in your brain that activates when you're not focused on the outside world. It's responsible for self-referential thoughts. I should have said this. What if that happens tomorrow? Why did I do that? In other words, the DMN is the home of the narrator. It activates when you're idle, when you're alone, when you're lying in bed at night staring at the ceiling. And overactivation of the DMN has been linked to depression, anxiety, and emotional exhaustion. But mindfulness practices, meditation, breathwork, self-inquiry, have been shown to quiet the DMN. Not erase thoughts, but help you recognize, I'm not the thoughts, I'm the one aware of them. This is how you begin to disempower the voice, not by fighting it, but by witnessing it. You don't argue with a radio playing static. You just turn it down, or tune out. Here's something you can do right now, wherever you are. Close your eyes, just for 30 seconds. Notice the next thought that arises. Don't try to control it. Just wait. When a thought comes, instead of jumping into it, say, "Ah, a thought has arrived." Then, let it go. Watch it float by like a leaf on water. This simple awareness exercise creates space. In that space, you meet yourself. Not the anxious self, not the overachieving self, not the fearful self. The true you, silent, watching, aware. And that space, that's the beginning of peace. We've explored the voice in your head, how it runs, loops, and rarely pauses. But what about the feelings it stirs? The emotions that surge through your body like waves in a storm? Because here's the truth. If thoughts are the narrator, emotions are the soundtrack. And most of us don't just hear the voice in our head. We feel it in our chest, our gut, our breath. A single thought, "They don't like me," can trigger shame, tension, anxiety, even tears. A memory, "You failed again," can spark rage, disappointment, withdrawal. And before we even realize it, we're not just thinking, we're drowning. But what if emotions, even the heavy ones, aren't here to break you? What if they're energy in motion, just trying to pass through? Biologically, emotions are temporary chemical signals. They rise, they peak, they fade. In fact, neuropsychologist Dr. Jill Bolt Taylor says that if you don't feed an emotion with thought, the physiological lifespan of an emotion is about 90 seconds. But most of us keep reactivating the emotion, feeding it with stories, judgments, memory loops. So instead of feeling the emotion once, we feel it again and again and again. Not because the feeling is strong, but because we won't let it go. There's a woman I know, Emily. Successful designer, smart, funny, loved by many, but she carried a weight no one saw. For 10 years, her father's harsh words, "You're never enough," echoed inside her. Even after he passed, she didn't speak them aloud, but she lived by them. Every promotion felt undeserved. Every compliment was doubted. She chased perfection but never felt peace. One day, she tried something new. She sat on her bedroom floor, closed her eyes, and instead of pushing the feeling away, she let it come. She whispered, "Okay, I feel the tightness, I feel the shame, but I'm not running." Tears came, not because she was broken, but because, for the first time, she allowed the emotion to move. She didn't judge it, she didn't analyze it, she let it pass through like a wave. That night, for the first time in years, she slept without clenching her jaw. Why? Because the emotion wasn't stuck anymore. It had been heard, felt, released. Think of your emotions like waves in the sea. Some are gentle ripples, some are tidal surges. All of them pass, if you don't resist. But if you try to push them down, numb them, or swim against them, you sink. Here's the practice. 1. Name the emotion. Say, "This is anger," or "This is grief," or "This is fear." Why? Because naming separates you from it. You are not angry. You are experiencing anger. That subtle difference is everything. 2. Locate it in your body. Is it a tight chest? A hot face? A clenched stomach? Feel it, but don't fight it. 3. Breathe into it. Not to get rid of it, just to soften the space around it. Each breath is like a door opening, saying, "You are welcome here, but you don't have to stay." One of the most dangerous beliefs we carry is, "If I feel it, it must be true." But that's not how emotions work. You can feel unloved, and still be deeply loved. You can feel unworthy, and still be deserving of every good thing. The feeling is real, but it's not the full truth. Your job is not to cancel emotion. It's to honor it, without becoming it. Like watching a storm pass across the sky. You stay grounded, even as the clouds thunder. Here's what's beautiful. Once you stop resisting emotion, you begin to realize how light you can feel. That anger you held for years, it's not you. That guilt from long ago, also not you. They were just unprocessed signals, waiting for your permission to move on. Forgiveness is easier than you think. Not for them, for you. Because letting go is never about excusing a wrong. It's about releasing your grip on the pain it left behind. That's not weakness, it's power. Let's try this together, right now. Think of a moment or person that still triggers emotion in you. Close your eyes. Name the emotion. This is sadness. This is betrayal. This is fear. Now ask, where is it in your body? What does it feel like? Heavy, tight, cold? Say gently to yourself, "I see you, I feel you, and I allow you to move." Take a deep breath in. Now slowly exhale, as if you're loosening a knot. Repeat as many times as you need. No rush, no pressure, just presence. This is how you become free. Not by escaping emotion, but by becoming wider than it. You are not the storm. You are the sky. Most of us grow up believing a silent promise. If I can just control everything, my future, my image, my emotions, other people, then I'll finally be safe. It sounds logical, responsible, even. So we plan, we worry, we micromanage life like it's a chess game we can master. But somewhere along the way, life exposes the truth. Control is a beautiful lie. Because no matter how hard you try, you can't control how others feel. You can't control what life throws at you. You can't control every thought that appears or emotion that rises. And that's terrifying, until it becomes liberating. Let's get real. Control is not about organization. It's about fear. Fear of failure. Fear of loss. Fear of pain. And the mind, clever as it is, thinks, if I can plan enough, I won't suffer. But suffering doesn't come from life being uncertain. It comes from fighting that uncertainty. It's like standing in a river trying to push the current backward, exhausting, pointless, and deeply human. My father, ex-military, type A, precise to the second, hated surprises. He was on his way to a long-awaited vacation. Everything was planned, itineraries, bookings, even the ideal seat for his back pain. At the airport, a storm grounded all flights. 6-hour delay, chaos everywhere, and I watched him, fists clenched, face flushed, pacing. But then something happened. A little girl, maybe 5, stood nearby crying. Her mother was flustered. My father paused, bent down, and offered the girl a chocolate from his coat. She smiled. She stopped crying. Her mom exhaled. My father sat down and didn't check his watch for the next 4 hours. Later, he told me, maybe life delays you for a reason. That day, he gave up control, and found connection. Sometimes, it's the breakdown of your plans that breaks open your heart. We confuse surrender with giving up. But true surrender isn't passive. It's the decision to stop resisting what is. It's saying, I will still act, I will still care, but I will no longer try to control the uncontrollable. That includes other people's reactions, the exact timing of success, life's curveballs. Letting go doesn't mean you stop moving forward. It means you stop dragging a boulder uphill thinking it's your job to move the mountain. Try this the next time life doesn't go your way. Pause. Close your eyes for just 10 seconds. Locate the tension. Where do you feel your desire for control? Chest, jaw, hands. Say silently, I release the outcome. I trust the process. Inhale deeply through your nose. Let the breath expand your ribs. Exhale through your mouth, slowly. Imagine letting go of invisible ropes you've been pulling. Do this 3 times. Let your body teach your mind that it's safe to loosen its grip. Think of life as a flowing river. You are not its engineer. You are not its dam builder. You are the boat. You can steer. You can adjust. You can paddle with intention. But the current, it moves with or without you. When you fight it, you suffer. When you trust it, you glide. Surrender doesn't mean do nothing. It means do your part and release the rest. Let's zoom in. We don't just try to control outcomes, we try to control people. If I say it just right, they'll change. If I hide this, they won't leave. If I fix everything, they'll love me more. It's subtle, it's exhausting, and it never works. Why? Because love isn't control. Love is freedom. You can't force someone to understand you, but you can choose to be honest anyway. You can't make them stay, but you can stay true to yourself. You can't control the relationship, but you can show up with an open heart and trust what unfolds. Mantra: I control what I can. I let go of what I can't. Let this be your compass. Repeat it when anxiety creeps in. Repeat it when plans shift. Repeat it when your heart wants to fix everything. Say it out loud now. I control what I can. I let go of what I can't. And then, feel your shoulders drop. That's what freedom feels like. Take a deep breath. Now imagine waking up with no walls around your heart. No armor of sarcasm. No fear of being too much. No filter stopping you from feeling fully or loving deeply. Just you, open, present, honest. Sounds impossible, maybe even terrifying. That's because most of us learned early on. If I stay open, I'll get hurt. So we close. We harden. We perform safe versions of ourselves. We build emotional walls, not realizing they don't just keep pain out. They keep life out. But here's the radical truth. Your heart isn't meant to be protected. It's meant to be expressed. Let's look at the mechanics. Every time you experienced rejection, criticism, or emotional injury, your brain took notes. Being open equals danger. Better to be guarded equals safer. So the next time you felt deeply, you held back. That's how self-protection becomes a habit. But here's the cost. You miss connection. You suppress joy. You live in defense mode, even when no one's attacking. And worst of all, you start to believe the mask is you. Caleb was a theater actor. Brilliant on stage. Magnetic in interviews. But off stage, awkward, distant, guarded. He once told me, "It's easier to be someone else than to risk being me." One day, during a small community improv night, he forgot his lines. No script, no character, just silence. The room was still, and in that silence, he did something he'd never done on stage. He spoke as himself. No act, no polish, just raw honesty. And the crowd, they didn't clap. They stood up. That night, Caleb wept backstage, not from shame, but from freedom. He'd always thought vulnerability would break him. Turns out, it was the wall that was breaking him. Vulnerability saved him. Society tells us to be tough, to smile through it, to never let them see you bleed. But the strongest people aren't the ones who never feel pain. They're the ones who feel it fully and keep showing up. Living with an open heart doesn't mean you won't get hurt. It means you stop letting the fear of being hurt control your life. You speak your truth. You give your love. You take the risk. Because the alternative, a life half lived, a soul half awake, you don't need a grand gesture. Start small. Try this. Think of someone or something you love deeply. A friend, a pet, a memory, a place. Place your hand on your heart. Feel the warmth. As you inhale, say silently, "I allow my heart to open." As you exhale, imagine that warmth expanding outward. Into the room, into the world. This is the energy of openness. Compassion, courage, connection. Let it lead you. To live with an open heart, you must be here, not trapped in the past. Not projecting fear into the future. Just now. Here's the practice. Pause. Look around. Feel the chair you're sitting in. Hear the sounds around you. Let yourself arrive. Presence is not some mystical state. It's the art of giving this moment your full attention. And in doing so, you create the only space where love can live. Now, we often go on autopilot in conversations. Say what's polite, avoid what's real, hide what matters. But what if, just once, you said the true thing? Not the rehearsed line, but the feeling behind it. Try this. I don't know how to say this, but I want to be honest with you. I'm scared, but I still want to try. I care about you, even if I act distant. These are not weak statements. They are weapons of healing. They break masks. They build bridges. Sophia wrote a letter to her estranged sister after 8 years of silence. She didn't send it, but she poured her heart onto the page. I miss you. I've been angry, but underneath the anger is grief. I still remember how you laughed when we were kids. I wish things were different. But mostly, I just want you to know I love you. Writing it changed her, even if the sister never read it. Because the act of being honest cracked something open in her. Weeks later, she got a text. I don't know why, but I thought of you today. They're still rebuilding. But that letter, it was the beginning. Openness is never wasted. Even when unseen, it frees you. Living this daily, radical openness in small moments. When you feel emotion, let it show on your face. When someone's hurting, don't fix them. Sit with them. When you feel gratitude, say it aloud. When you love someone, don't wait. Radical openness is not about drama. It's about honesty. In words, in actions, in presence. And when you live this way, you begin to feel light. Because walls are heavy, but love travels light. Mantra: I live with an open heart. Repeat it every morning, every time fear wants you to shut down. I live with an open heart. Say it not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. Because nothing connects us like truth. Nothing frees us like vulnerability. Nothing heals us like presence. Let's return to where we started. A simple but profound realization. You are not the voice in your head. You are the one listening. This isn't a quote to memorize. It's a truth to live. And when you really live it, not just understand it intellectually, something shifts. You stop being trapped by the noise. You stop identifying with every emotion. You stop clinging to the illusion of control. And then, you taste real freedom. Not the kind that depends on perfect circumstances. Not the kind that needs everyone to agree with you. Not the kind that only shows up on sunny days. I'm talking about a freedom that's internal. Always available. Completely yours. Let's debunk a myth. Freedom is not the absence of responsibility. It's not retiring early, living on a beach, or avoiding hard emotions. True freedom is the ability to meet each moment, no matter how messy or uncertain, without losing yourself. It's the capacity to feel pain without becoming bitterness, to face loss without collapsing into despair, to love deeply without needing guarantees. It's living without the chains of mind chatter, emotional residue, or obsessive control. And this freedom begins within. James was a war veteran. Years after returning home, he was still at war inside. Flashbacks, guilt, panic. He tried to numb it. Alcohol, silence, avoidance. But nothing worked. One night, during a thunderstorm, he stood outside barefoot. Rain poured, wind howled, thunder cracked. And in the middle of the chaos, he finally stopped running. He said out loud, "I'm not the fear, I'm not the memory, I'm the one still standing." It wasn't poetic, it wasn't comfortable, but it was real. He cried until his knees hit the dirt. That was the night James began to heal. He still feels storms, but now, he remembers, "I am not the storm. I am the sky it passes through." Here's a truth no one teaches us. At your core is a stillness that nothing can disturb. Not grief, not failure, not rejection, not even death. It's the you beneath the noise. The you that watches thoughts come and go like clouds. This stillness isn't something you need to create. It's already there. You just need to return to it. How? By watching instead of reacting. By feeling instead of fixing. By surrendering instead of controlling. By opening instead of hiding. Every moment is a doorway back to that stillness. Let's be practical. Here's how you live this. not once, but daily. 1. The observer pause, 30 seconds. Anytime you feel overwhelmed, close your eyes. Say, I am noticing my thoughts. Let them come and go like birds flying past. Don't engage, just watch. This builds mental spaciousness. 2. Emotion labeling. When a strong feeling arises, say out loud, or in your mind, this is sadness. Let the label separate you from it. Breathe into the sensation. This builds emotional regulation. 3. The surrender breath. When control kicks in, inhale deeply, exhale slowly while repeating, I trust the process. This builds letting go. 4. Heart opening practice. Each morning, place hand over chest. Recall something or someone you love. Inhale, I allow my heart to open. Exhale, I live from love. This builds emotional authenticity. 5. Mantra for daily life. I am not my thoughts. I am not my emotions. I am not what happens. I am the one who observes. And I am free. Let this guide you through storms and sunshine alike. Anti-clockwise arrows. Real freedom is a daily return. This isn't a one-time epiphany. It's a return, again and again, to what you already are. Like brushing your teeth or charging your phone. This isn't something you do once. It's a practice. Every moment, you choose, react or observe, control or surrender, close or open. Each choice brings you closer to real freedom. And every time you fall asleep again, don't worry. Awareness is patient. It waits for you like the sun waits behind clouds. A woman named Clara felt trapped in her job, her relationship, her mind. Everything felt like a cage. She kept saying, if only I could change everything, then I'd be happy. One day, while visiting a monastery, she wandered into an empty meditation room. There was a quote on the wall: most prisons are built inside the mind, and the door is already open. She sat in silence for the first time in years. That day, she didn't leave her job, her partner, or her town, but something shifted. She stopped waiting for life to change. She began changing the way she met life. And that's when everything changed. Freedom is who you really are. You were born free, before the voice, before the fear, before the pain, and you can return to that freedom, not by chasing it, but by uncovering it, piece by piece, layer by layer, thought by thought, emotion by emotion, moment by moment, until one day, you realize, I don't need anything else to be whole. I already am. That's not ego. That's awakening. You are not here to become perfect. You are here to become present. To stop being a prisoner of your own mind. To stop hiding from your heart. You are here to live fully, love openly, and let go gracefully. No more waiting. No more holding back. This is it. This is freedom.